I want to sell my condotel, but it feels impossible to do. What should I do? That's a really good question, and it's actually very pertinent to some of the stuff that I've been doing in the last couple of weeks. So condotels, for anybody who is not aware of what that is, it's basically a privately owned condominium unit that operates similarly to a hotel. So they typically allow short-term vacation rentals. They'll have like a front check-in desk, sort of like a hotel where you can go and check in and get your keys to your room. And typically the units are going to be like a little bit smaller. Sometimes they won't have a full kitchen. And they are notoriously difficult to get financing for. So the issue that a lot of sellers run into who own these properties is when they bought them, they were cash only, and they think that the only way that they can sell them. I'm thinking of one particular building on Palm Beach Island that I've been doing a ton of business in, where it is a very commonly held belief that it is impossible to finance these units in this building because so many people have tried and failed, and it's just people have seen loans denied because they're doing it wrong essentially. We are uniquely positioned with some of our investor partners to offer financing on these tough to close condotels. I'm very experienced at it. I know exactly what I'm doing. So any advice that I can give, or the advice that I would give to a seller who's thinking about selling a condotel, is number one, make sure that you do proper due diligence for your building to determine whether it is financeable or not. If you have a question about whether it is possible to finance in your building for your condotel units, call me, call my organization. I'm happy to walk you through step by step all of the information that's needed in order to basically pre-screen eligibility for financing. Number two is who you work with on these properties, because they are so unique and they're not of the norm. Who you work with on real estate is very, very important. The financials on a condotel unit are typically there. It's not as simple as selling. Most of the time, they are investment properties, right? And it's not as simple as selling a property where, oh well, the market rent is $2,500, so that's what the market rent is. Like, these units are managed more like an Airbnb. It's very typical that these will be listed on VRBO or Airbnb. So you're going to want to have 12 or 24 months worth of rent rolls, to show a potential buyer, to show a potential buyer where the value, right, like how your unit has been performing, over the past however long, of a time frame you've owned it for. So again, working who you work with from a real estate perspective on these units is very, very, very important, because they're marketed much differently than traditional single family homes, townhouses, or regular condos. So again, I work with a very select number of agents that are very experienced in marketing these units and getting top dollar based on the investment returns of these units. And we're all buttoned up with in-house financing. There's quite a few people that I work with in some of these buildings that will not even accept, they won't even consider a financed offer from another lender besides us. That's how good we are at getting them done, and how many times they've seen other organizations fail. So, the takeaway is, if you're worried about selling your condotel, I've got a ton of information for you. I can kind of help you prepare yourself to get that on the market. And the other takeaway is that, if you think that it's a cash only type of deal and that it's impossible to get financing, that is not necessarily the case. It's certainly possible, but I definitely encourage you to get with us first before you come to that conclusion, and maybe we can help open up that buyer pool for you a little bit, and have more people able to make an offer.